so much. So, yan. Ito naman po yung nasa screen na.
Galit na kasi nung grade sa akin, kung ako nakakapagpasa ng oras na over. Sabi mo, yung mag-overload. Alam, bilon ako nga yung akin.
Hindi naman daw tuloy.
Ha?
Hindi naman daw tuloy.
Kaya nga, bilon ako nga kasi
hindi na, may bago na eh.
Nagalit lang nga si Babu. Okay, at hindi na ako nakapagbigay ng class 5. Oo, effective daw this week. Ibig sabihin na attendance din this week.
Yun nga, ang naalala ko doon, yung aking ipiyak. Di ngayon lang siya na-aprobahan.
Kaya ito na, sinabi ko. Masasabi na sa bakit sir? Kailangan din ako.
Kasi kung nga ngayon na-aprobahan, ibig sabihin, hindi ba yun yung 2 linggo ko? Ayun na, hindi ko nga alam. Kanya ngayon nga na, pero hindi ka magkakasabay yun. Sana naman. So, yan. Good afternoon, guys. So, again, welcome to OR2, and we are here to discuss about this dynamic programming. So, as you can see on our PPT that I gave to you last time, kahapon lang, yesterday. This is just a very basic in terms of OR2. Tama ba? May nakapag-review ba kahapon? Or kanina man lang. Baka ito ay wala pang 1 hour yung klase natin, tapos agad tayo. So that na si Christian, makapag-hayahay na. Kasi kanina pang gigil si Christian talaga eh. Sir, may klase po ba tayo? Sabi ko, meron kasi ito yung 2 hours natin. Tomorrow po, yan. Pwede nyo na po yung gamitin para po sa inyong review. So that naman po ay baka sabihin nyo, hindi na kayo napag-review for your quiz. Yun nga pala, base dun sa aking queries kay Sir Gerson ay yung ating OR2, yung quiz natin ay meron pa rin makukuha tayo dapat dun sa ating sa quiz na yun so that ma-apply din natin sa midterm exam. So malamang parang more on process na lang tayo. So hindi ko na kayo bibigyan ng problem. Sa quiz nga lang, dun yung mismong problem. So yun po yung expect niyo. So meron at meron pa rin. Kaya lang tayo nag-quiz ay para kayo ay maging familiar dun sa ating process ng integer programming. Yan. So far, do you have any question or queries for ang tawag dito sa ating integer programming? Wala naman so far. So, sige, ano yun?
Hi po sir, good afternoon po. Sir, itatanong ko lang po if may mga cases po dun sa integer programming na nagiging parang no solution po yung sagot po.
Meron din naman. Pero bihira pa naman sa exam na lumalabas na ganun. Pero meron din. Kagaya nga nung result nung pero bihira yun. Kung gusto nyong itry yung ating huling naging sa branch and bound, pwede nyo po yung i-try para makita nyo po na feasible region is still na doon pa rin. Pero bihira lang naman. Siyempre, papasolve naman sa inyo ay ibig sabihin, nasa simplex method din po yun. Ay, nasa integer number din yung result dapat. Pero nangyayari din.
Okay po sir, thank you po.
Okay. By the way, before we proceed to this dynamic programming, may konti lang akong in-edit. Stop ko muna yung presentation here. Usapan muna natin itong konti kong in-edit. So kung makapansin nyo po, kung di-download nyo po yung mga equals, hindi ko kasi na-edit din yung equals. Saan ba yun? S3, S4, sige. Sige. Punta muna tayo sa konting review ng nangyari sa ating cutting algorithm so that naman yung iba natin ay magkameron ng konting background. Baka merong hindi naka-attend. Pero yung process na dito na rin po sa ating PPT. Window na lang. Okay, so last time we discussed this cutting plane algorithm. So yan, ito yung mga steps. And this is the example. So we know that step 1 is to find the optimal table. Kaya kapag mali na agad yung optimal table natin, mali agad yung lalabas na sagutin natin. Kaya maging maingat din po. Baka sometimes nagkamali tayo dito ng sign. For example, dito sa S2, ang nailagay natin dito ay positive. Definitely, it can give us also wrong answer din. Kaya yun po yung pausap sa inyo, mag-practice nga po. Para na-review mo yung OR1 and at the same time, pag mali kasi yung OR1 mo, yung simplex tableau natin or yung optimal tableau natin sa simplex method, definitely, mali na agad. By the way, dun sa tableau ninyo, gumagamit kayo ng P sa dulo. Mga kaibigan, gumagamit kayo ng P sa dulo before RHS o hindi na. Yung P na value or Z. Hindi naman. Ganyan na lang talaga. Tama. Okay, sige. Mas okay yan. Okay, so now, here is the second step. We will choose non-integer or yung may mga fraction tayo sa RHS. Maalin po sa x sub 1 at x sub 2. So, ang pinili ko po muna ay x sub 1. Then, kinuha natin. Then, x sub 1 plus 7/3 s sub 1 minus 1/3 s sub 2 is equal to 7/3. And then, pinaghiwalay natin sa left and right hand side all the integers and with the integer coefficient, we'll set into the left hand and the right side all of the all of the fraction. So, take note that all the fraction should be positive fraction. So, yun yung nagpapahirap sa iba kung paano mag-isip yan. Basta fraction po. Hindi pwedeng, halimbawa, 5/3. So, hindi siya fraction pa talaga at whole number. Kung may whole number pang i-deduct sa kanya. And then, step number 5, yan, kinuha natin and set natin siya into yung constraint. And then, step number 7, we will put it into our tableau and by adding slack kasi less than or equal. And then we will set it to our table like this one. Ayan. So may konti lang po akong dito, choose the most negative sa side ng RHS for the improvement using our dual simplex. And then yan yung magiging basis natin na pag-divide natin yung mga values na may values na hindi zero. Okay, so ibig sabihin, lahat lang po na may values dito. At yung magiging sagot niya is dapat absolute value lang po. Like guys, dito, 11/3 divided by negative 1/3, instead of negative 11, you will just put 11. So we just need to have absolute value. Like this one, it's supposedly negative 1/2, but definitely it's 1/2 na lang. And then after that po, pipiliin po natin yung lowest absolute number. Yan. So, yan yung po yung magsiserve natin as our entry. And this will be our leaving. So, halos paulit-ulit lang naman, So, at until makuha natin to, take note lang po, kung sakali man sa improvement natin, may lalabas na negative dito sa value ng Z, maximization yan, di gagamitan muna din natin ng simplex method. If ever nawala, di saka natin gagamitan ng panibagong ng balik sa second step. Kasi lahat ay fraction pa rin. or may fraction pa rin yung answer. So that's why I choose x sub 2. And then, kinuha natin yung kanyang labis na ikakat. And yan, ito yung magiging for cutting natin or grommery natin. Then after that, pinalat natin dito. Then we will choose negative 1/2. Nauna yun. We will choose negative 1/2 muna, the most negative. And then from this side, titingin lang tayo sa may mga value. Yung walang 0, may 0 to. Kaya hindi na natin kailangan na i-divide siya. 7/2 divided by negative 1/2. 1/2 divided by 1/2. So yan. So the lowest absolute number is 1. So that's why this will serve as our limit. Entering. So nagkabaliktad lang yung kanyang ano. And then yan. Then we will come up to this kind of tableau. Yan. And then try nyo po yung mga problem set tsaka yung try me na yan so that ma-practice po kayo ng ma-practice. Ano? So far po, wala na pong tanong sa ating integer programming. Yung po naman ay aking inano na rin sa ating Google Classroom para po kayo ay may mapag-reviewhan. Together with that din po ay syempre itong ating dynamic programming. Okay? So far po, wala nang question sa ating integer programming. Mga 30 minutes lang kasi itong dynamic programming. Baka sabihin nyo, ganun lang pala kabilis. Ayan. Can I ask for a thumbs up kung maliwanag pa naman ang aking voice? Okay, thank you so much. Now, this is all about the dynamic programming. So, from the word itself, dynamic, so actually, parang pinaghihiwa-hiwalay to make a solution. So, parang hinihimay-himay. Yun yung pinaka-key term dito. So, the learning objective of this topic is for us to have a proper analysis and how to formulate and solve dynamic programming problems. So, dynamic programming was basically used to optimize the process. Siyempre, kaya nga siya nasa operation research. And the main idea of this is to decompose the problem into more manageable sub-problem or sub-unit. Kumbaga, hinihimay-himay natin hanggang sa makuha natin yung proper na solution on which the computation are then carried out recursively. Yung tinatawag nating recursion, where the optimum solution of one sub-problem is used as an input to the next problem. The optimum solution for this entire problem is at hand when the last problem is solved. The manner in which the recursive computation are carried out depends on how the recent problem is decomposed. So, saan ba natin to madalas magagamit? So, actually, this dynamic programming, as we've said, the main goal is to optimize or to have an optimized solution in a specific problem. So, for example, saan ba natin siya madalas makikita? The longest route, diba? Or the critical path, or the longest common subsequence, it could be. And of course, the shortest path, or yung shortest path natin na diniscuss din sa OR1. It could be used also for Floyd-Warshall, edit distance, and matrix multiplication, and yung Fibonacci. So, yung ating magiging main dito is yung manual natin masosolve, which is the critical path or the CPM, and of course, or yung tinatawag nating longest path, and of course, yung ating shortest path, and the other one is Fibonacci numbers. So, familiar naman siguro kayo sa Fibonacci, tama ba? Sino po ang familiar sa inyo sa Fibonacci? Wala? Can I ask for a thumbs up kung narinig nyo na? Uy, meron naman. Yan. So, di ba sa programming natin, parang ginamit yun. Find open and close parentheses. Open ka parentheses and then then tatanungin mo anong value ng n. For example, at n is equal to 1, what will be the Fibonacci number? So actually, we can compute it manually pero ang hirap lang. Kaya madalas, program talaga yung kanyang ginagamit. So, same as in this concept, actually, ginagamit siya into programming talaga. But as a matter of fact, even yung ating simplex method, even yung ating integer programming, or even the linear programming, actually dapat siya ay napoprogram. Kasi sa tunay na buhay, hindi lang naman kasi iisa or dadalawa yung unknown variable in a specific company. It may take how many numbers, how many variables is unknown or unknown. Napakadami. At higit sa lahat, napakahirap naman yun kung kukompute mo talaga siya ng mano-mano. So that's why it's very important for us to know how to use Python or even the C++. Kaso nga lang, hindi natin alam kung ma-achieve natin sa ganitong klase kasi ang focus talaga natin is more on manual din. However, try to study the Python and the C++ so that you can determine how can you put those, for example, those mathematical model into a specific program. And that's a very important promise. Kapag nagawa niyo yun, medyo malaking bagay at malaking tulong sa inyong career, lalatigit, ito na yung future ng isang IE. So, hindi lang sapat na ikaw ay magaling mag-analyze, but of course, you are knowledgeable on those particular softwares na napakalaking tulong po. So, as I mentioned, so yan, recursion or recursive is breaking a component down into smaller component. Ito yung sinasabi kong hinihimay-himay natin using the same function. This function calls itself either directly or indirectly over and over until the base problem is identified and solved for some programming problems. Using recursion makes for a concise and simple solution that would be more complex using another algorithm. Meron tayong dalawang klase, the backward and the forward, or minsan tinatawag nating bottom up and or up to bottom. So depende kung ano yung sitwasyon natin. Sa shortest path at critical path, sometimes maalin. Pwedeng forward, pwedeng backward. Let's take a look about the term recursion, forward and backward recursion. So the forward recursion starts from stage 1. So ibig sabihin, from the very beginning up to the last. Backward recursion, the computation starts from the last, going back to stage 1. So that's the dynamic programming literature invariably use backward recursion. So the backward procedure is more efficient computationally. But it's up to the user. Here are the steps of in dynamic programming. First, identify the subproblems. So we can divide the main problems into smaller independent subproblems. So ibig sabihin, himay-himay na natin agad. Second, store the solution or memorize. Solve each subproblem and store the solution. Then build up solution, use the stored solution to build up the solution to the main problems, and avoid direct computation by storing those solutions. So let's take a look about this example. So in this case, we need to find the shortest path. Although it's really easy to ask kasi napakasimple lang. So but what I'm trying to say, what I'm going to show to you is the simplest example and at the same time kung paano siya ginagawa sa ganitong klase ng example. But in reality, it's more complex. No? How many nodes do we have? Actually, hindi lang 7, hindi lang 8, hindi lang 9, hindi lang 10. Sometimes, it may take, for example, up to 20, 100. It is possible. So, that's why this is the analyzation that we've done. For example, forward tayo muna. Pwede naman po sa forward tayo. Sige. Pointers, pen. For example, forward po tayo. So, papunta tayo. Hinati-hati po natin yung last na problem. Ito po yun. So, sa madalit sabi, ito yung set 1 natin. Ito yung set 2. At ito yung set 3. Ay, hindi naman nakalapat. Ba't nasulat? Wait lang nga. Ayan, set 3. Ayan. Or, sa madalit sabi, ganito yung paghahati-hati niya. So, sir, paano pag backward? So, backward, pwede naman. Ito muna yung uunahin natin. Followed by this one and this one. Pwede po yan. So, by choosing, since our objective is the lowest number. But, as much as possible, pinaka-effective dito kasi yung forward. Okay. So, pero try din natin sa backward muna natin. So, for example, between, sige, forward na lang para mas effective dito kasi ang forward kasi yun yung ating pipiliin. From 1 to 2, from 2, ito yung start natin ha. So, that is the starting point. Pupunta daw tayo kay node 7. We need to determine what is the shortest path or shortest route. So, from 1 to 2, ang nakakonect lang kay 2 ay si 1 with 7. Okay? From 1 to 3, number 3, ang nakakonect lang sa kanya is si 1. So, with 8 po yung distance. At si 1 to 4, syempre, ang nakakonect lang kay 4 is si 1, which is may 5 dyan. At this case, ito po yung value natin dyan. Okay? Madali pa naman kasi nasa first stage pa din tayo. Second one. So, forward po to ha. Forward. Yan. From this case, since 7 na siya, ngayon, ano yung sunod na node? So, dito naman tayo titingin. Sa 5 and 6 kasi siya yung pupuntahan. Ngayon, from 5, this is the last point. Babalikan natin ano yung mga nakakonekta sa kanya. We have 12. Pero, syempre, kasama na din na dyan dapat si 7. So, 7 plus 12 is 19. Yun yung isa. Yung isa is 3 to 5, which is 8 plus 8 is 16. So, yung isa ay 19, 16. So, pwede na nating i-disable to. Okay. Another one is from 4 to 5. We have 5 plus 7, which is 12. So, i-disregard na natin itong si 8. So, therefore, for the solution for this one, we have 12. Gets? Gets kung bakit ko disregard na? Kasi ang hinahanap po natin ay shortest route. Can I ask for a thumbs up? Okay. Thank you. Then, next to that, we have the node number 6. Ano daw po yung nakakonect sa kanya? We have node number 3, which has 8 already, plus 9 is 17. However, the other one is the node number 4, which is 5 plus 13, 18. So therefore, we can disregard this one. And 8 plus 9, edi yan yung ating ilalagay dyan. Gets? Okay. Next node, we have 12 plus 9 is 21. And 17 plus 6 is 23. Tama ba? Yan. And then, from that, we will choose 21. And we will disregard this one. So, therefore, the shortest route will be 1 to 4, 4 to 5, and 5 to 9 with a total distance of 21. Gets? Madali ba? Ganun lang po yung paghihimay-himay niya. Ito ay combination ng backward and forward na rin, di ba? Mapansin nyo, tinitingnan yung nakaraan bago siya mag-proceed sa susunod. Okay? And tinitingnan din yung dumaan sa kanya para malaman or dadaan sa kanya, dadaanan para makapunta sa kanya so that ma-determine natin yung shortest path. So, sir, what if critical path? So, kabaliktad naman siya. So, ang hinahanap naman doon is the longest. Okay? Gets po? Madali? Madali ano? And as for thumbs up, kung kayang-kaya, kayang-kaya doon yung yan. Pero yun po yung pinakamadali talaga siya. Actually, mas mahirap pa po si Fibonacci. No? Pero si Fibonacci. Yan. So yan, ito po yung sagot dyan. So that's why it is 21. Pwede naman pong pabaliktad. So for example, hanapin mo muna yung maliit na value between 9 and 6. So since hindi natin sure yan, lagay muna natin dyan. Pabalik tayo. From this point, ano ba yung naka-connect sa kanya? We have to determine what is the smallest value. So 12, 8, and 7. So syempre, disregard natin to. Lowest niya ay 7. Basta pabalik lang din. So, and then dito, ang pinakamaliit niya is, sure na ba tayo? 9 at 13. Ay di, itong 9. Kaya ito ay 9. And then, we have the other one. Ano yung nakakonect kay 5? Hindi yun nga, yung kinuha natin, si 4. Eh di, we will put this as, ang tawag dito, yung 5 na natin. Kasi yun yung nakakonect dyan. And then, we will determine that this will be the shortest route. Ito na yung 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. Nalagay natin dyan. And we have 12 plus 9 is 21. Pwede mong pagkumprahin muna. 9. Sorry. Dito sa kabila ay 8 plus 9, 17 plus 6, that is 23. So the shortest will become 21. So makikita naman natin that 12 and 21, mas malaki pa rin. I-disregard na natin to. Kasi ang total nito, maliban na lang po ito ay 2. Halimbawa, baka ito naman ito. So pwede naman ang mangyari dyan, 19 yung mag-isagot natin. So ganun siya ka-critical din. Okay? Can you still follow? Kung sakali man na ganun yung nangyayari. So pwede naman pong, at talaga nangyayari din naman po na minsan, mas effective dito yung forward. So, how about Fibonacci? Fibonacci, familiar na familiar. So, in Fibonacci sequence, this is the sequence na kumakita natin from the very beginning. Review lang din naman po sa programming. 1 plus 1, ang sagot dyan is the Fibonacci 2. At n is equal to 1, the value is 1. At n is equal to 2, the value will become 2. At n is equal to 3, the value will become 2. So, 1 plus 2 is 3. So, therefore, that is our Fibonacci at n is equal to 4. And this will be the Fibonacci and what at n is equal to 5 and 6. N is equal to 6, the Fibonacci number is 8. And so on so forth. 13 plus 8 hanggang sa kung ano man number yan. Tama ba? Gets na yung Fibonacci natin? Tama ba? Hello, yan. So, yun po yung sa ating programming. So, actually, this Fibonacci in program will be made like recursive approach. So, ito yung program niya. Yan. So, medyo hindi ko na siya pwede yung i-enter naman sa inyong mga Python or sa C++. Yan po. And Momoi's approach. So, ito naman is nag-i-store. Ini-store niya yung value pag nagko-compute siya. And of course, halimbawa, at this case, yung bottom-up approach naman niya, kabaligtad naman niya. So, from the bottom, pataas. Medyo mas mahirap ito sa Fibonacci number. However, through our program, kaya po yan. For example lang po we need to determine saan ba ang aking so we need to determine Fibonacci at n where n is equal to 5. Ngayon, paano ang gagawin natin dyan? Fibonacci is equal to 5. So, ano yung kailangan natin pag-addin? So, hihimay-himay natin. Siyempre, Fibonacci 3, Fibonacci 4, and Fibonacci 3 rather. Ito yung dapat pag-addin natin na ang sagot ay Fibonacci 5. So, ano naman yung kay Fibonacci 4? So, for example, Fibonacci 3 and Fibonacci 2. How about Fibonacci number 3? So, Fibonacci um, 2 and Fibonacci 1. So, how about Fibonacci 3? So, that is Fibonacci 2 and Fibonacci 1. And that could be Fibonacci 1. Yan. So, yun yung ating example. Wala na yung Fibonacci 2 kasi wala na siyang dulo. Kumbaga, ang value kasi niya is 1 and 1. So, kaya, sagad na po lagi si Fibonacci 2 at si Fibonacci 1 po. Okay? Gets po? So, for example, at this case, hahanapin natin si Fibonacci 2 and 1. So, the value of Fibonacci 1 and Fibonacci 2 is 1. Yan, lagay natin dito. Sige, ito mas malinaw. So, the value of Fibonacci, sabi ko nga, Fibonacci is like this 1. 1, 1, 2, 3, hanggang sa makarating yung doon sa pinakadulo natin. So, Fibonacci 2 is 1, Fibonacci 1 is 1. So, now, 1 and 1, the Fibonacci will become, Fibonacci 2 is 2. Now, Fibonacci 2, as we mentioned, it's 1, 1, and 2. Automatic, syempre, 3 po. Gets? Okay, how about at this side? Fibonacci 2 and Fibonacci 1, that is 1 and 1. So, Fibonacci 3 is 1 and 1 is 2. Then, 2 plus 3. Fibonacci number is 5. At n is equal to 5 po. Gets? That is Fibonacci lang naman po. That is for manual computation. Pero pinakamadali naman talaga is yung ganito, ano? Yung 1 plus 1, 2 plus 3. But this is a sequence. Sa programming, napaka-importante po nito. Gets? So that is how to compute the Fibonacci and how to present the Fibonacci number. Any question? Kaya ba? Madali? Oh, kaya. Easy. Di ba? Mas madali siya kaysa sa... Ba't nakayak si Ken? Mas madali pa siya kaysa sa ano? Sa, ang tawag doon? Sa, anong term yun? Sa cutting plane algorithm. Mamili kayo. Yan o yung cutting plane algorithm. Ito lang ang hinahanap natin dito. Critical path, short decimal, and this Fibonacci number. Yun lang po yung aking pag-a-applyan dito. Pero ito naman po ay analyzation lang din naman po. So basta, halimbawa, kung Fibonacci number 8, halimbawa lang basta sa pinaka-kaliwa ninyo, dyan na lang ilagay yung mas malaking number. Ano? Parang branch and bound lang din, ano? Halimbawa, Fib 8. Siyempre, ano yung nasa 8? 7 and 6. Ngayon, ano yung compose sa 7 at 6? Hanggang sa makarating tayo sa fifth 2 at fifth 1. Yun po yun. Gets? So, gets po ba? Okay. So, yun po yung challenge diyan. So, dapat analyzation lang. Nilagyan ko lang po ng Fibonacci. Yun po yung pinaka any ano. Pwede naman pabaliktad yung iyong type. Gusto mo. Pero mas madali yung approach nito. Halimbawa, how many branch can you have in computing Fibonacci number, finding Fibonacci n with the n is equal to, halimbawa ay 20. So, practice na lang din. Any comments, suggestion, clarification? Sure? Wala? Actually, hanggang dyan lang naman yung ating dynamic programming. Ganun lang siya kadali.